Learning and doing new things is hard. That's why a lot of people don't want to start using Premiere Pro, because it seems overwhelming and really difficult at first. And I think that that's true. I think but you got to understand the basics of what you actually need to use to accomplish just a general edit. So let's go over some of the most common beginner complaints in this video and how to overcome them.
I don't even know what's going on. You're so much studio, I don't even know.
Listen, I get it. It is very overwhelming the first time you open Premiere. You don't really know where to start. But for you, a beginner at editing, there's really only 4 panels that you need to take a look at and use to be functional. So in the bottom left, you have your project panel. This is where you're gonna drag your video and audio clips into and kind of select or rename and figure out which ones you wanna use, get a little bit organized. Above that, you have your source monitor. That's where you can actually view the source material, the video, the audio, add in and out points, select which parts you don't even want to bring into your timeline, which is the bottom right here. That's where you're actually going to complete the edit, arrange your story, move things around. And above that is a program monitor. That's where you're going to be able to view the video that you've created in your timeline. So, overall, that's all you really need to get started.
I don't know what to do first.
No problem. All you have to do when you're ready is drag that video file onto the timeline, and Premiere will actually create a sequence based on the properties of said file. So things like the frame rate, 24, 30 frames per second, 60, 120, etc., or the dimensions of your video, whether that's a 16:9 aspect ratio where the camera is sideways, or 9:16 like a vertical video. So it's very, very helpful, because then you don't have to go through the process of being overly critical and really thinking about the different ways you want to set up your sequence.
I don't know what to do for dinner tonight.
Huh, okay, DoorDash?
This timeline is confusing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think if you're new to nonlinear editing, it can be completely overwhelming and it's not easy to know what to do first, but this is where you can have the most fun and the most impact on the output, the story. This is where you're creating the narrative. So take your video, maybe it was just a basic intro for a YouTube video, and then the meat of what you're gonna say, and then an outro. So I recommend using the blade tool, the cut tool, just cutting around the intro, getting rid of any dead space where you're not saying anything or you look awkward or you're going for a minute while you try to compose yourself. Move some things around. Similarly with the middle of the video and the end, do that as well. And once you replay that and watch it in the monitor above, you got a good cut, you're happy with it, that's great. That's good for now. You don't need to do any more.
There are too many effects.
Don't worry about any of that right now. Just add some basic text, use the T tool, or open the essential graphics panel and just add some text, drag it over the top where you can position it where you want it. Maybe add some music. Again, just drag it from the panel to the left, project panel, and then do some basic transitions. Open up the effects panel and just find a really basic cross dissolve. You don't need to go overboard right now, you're new.
Exporting? I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, so this is where I was really confused the first time I exported content, and sometimes still a little confusing. So when you're happy with your video, just Command or Control M and you can export the media, or you can go to File, Export Media. You don't really need to know about codecs, but I would just set it to H.264. It's pretty much the standard for a lot of web video. And then I would just select a preset. If you know it's going to YouTube, you know the dimensions, the output, just select YouTube 720 or YouTube 1080 or even 4K. I don't know what you're using, but that's really it. I wouldn't even worry about the stuff below that. For you as a beginner, that's just gonna overwhelm you further. So you can research some of that on your own, but for this first export, nailed it. Proud of you.